Hi, my name is John Mcluckie and I'm a really blessed, very privileged level 3 Qhht practitioner down here in Australia on the beautiful Gold Coast. Now, sometimes some people come because they just want confirmation about some of their questions in life or what's going through in their life. And sometimes some people's higher selves or their subconscious is actually really funny. And this lady's higher self was pretty funny. And the story was actually amazing. She was in such a beautiful place. It wasn't on Earth. It was very similar to Earth, but it wasn't quite. So just with all my sessions that I share, feel free to close your eyes and you'll be able to picture the whole story for yourself and enjoy the session. So thank you so much for watching. And if you're interested in becoming a practitioner, just go to the Qhht official website and punch in blessed and you'll get a 10% discount. And if you're interested in getting hold of me or having a session or just have any questions, just go to my website link, which is goldcoast-hypnotherapy.com. Thanks. Enjoy the session.
I feel like I came here for the peace and the quiet. I feel like I intentionally came here not to be connected to anyone or anything. Yeah, and I know that I wanted to come specifically to swim in the water under the waterfall. There's like a feeling that I'm gonna get when I'm under the waterfall. Like I think the water is special water. Because it's special water because I know when I get in the water and I go under the waterfall, there's like a cleansing, like a purge, a letting go of something.
I see. Well, what do you want to do?
Get in the water under the waterfall.
Get in the water. You can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. It feels like when I get into the water, it doesn't match the outside air. Like you would think that the water would be cold, but it's warm. And I don't actually think I'm on this earth now that I'm in the water.
I see.
Because, even as I'm noticing, there's like a glow in the dark, like a glowing element to the water. Yeah. And as I swim towards the waterfall and I look up, there's like a cave behind the waterfall that you can't see from the outside.
Like it's hidden sort of thing?
Yeah. But I knew it was there. Or I know that it's there. And as I actually swim through the waterfall into this cave, but I can see that there's like markings, like paintings on this cave wall.
I see.
And now it's cold, and I can hear like dripping water.
What are the paintings of?
So I feel like it would be described as like cave paintings of. It looks like so there's people in the paintings, and it looks like they're maybe hunting something, because it's a big sort of like a wildebeest on the painting on the wall.
Like an animal for some
Like an animal, yeah. But the feeling that I'm getting is I'm kind of running my hand along it, and the feeling that I'm getting is like ancestors.
See.
Yeah. Like I came here to be with the energy of these ancestors. But
through your hands sort of thing?
Yeah, a feeling that it sort of like runs through my hand into my heart that this was the reason that I came here, because I felt very lost and disconnected. And so, yeah, like I knew that I would find this here. And I have the feeling like I just want to sit in this cave for a moment, just to like close down my eyes and be.
It's okay. You can do. Just do what feels right for you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like I can hear the noise of the waterfall, but then there's this dripping sound in the background, and there's this coolness on my skin, and just this feeling of like a home almost.
What does that feel like for you?
It feels like I do belong somewhere. Like I think I've felt quite alone. Yeah, like I felt like I didn't know where I fit in the timeline, or I didn't know where I belonged in this this particular journey. And it feels like I maybe have been on a bit of a journey to get to this place. Like I think it's kind of a final destination feeling.
What does it feel like to get there?
Like I've arrived, but also completed something. Like there's a feeling of completion. It's like maybe I'd been called to this place for a long time, and finally I've like arrived here. I feel like there's a story that's led me to this point, and I'm only glimpsing like the end part of it.
And just as you're sitting there, can you just describe your body for me? Does it feel young or old or relaxed? Or?
It's quite young. I feel like maybe 16, 17, like quite young.
Does it feel male or female?
It feels female, yeah. Female and quite young.
Does it feel pretty healthy?
Yeah, very healthy. It's like you can tell just as a part of day to day that there's a lot of like movement, very fit and healthy.
And does it feel like you have any jewellery or any ornaments on or anything like that?
No, it's actually completely very minimal. But I feel like the material when I first saw the swimsuit seemed modern, but it's not. It's like I don't want to say scales because it's not a part of me. It's on my body, but it's like a film.
I see.
Yeah, it's not material that you'd see on Earth. Yeah.
Super cool. So it sounds like a pretty magical place there.
Yeah.
Family.
Has a little bit of like almost like Avatar feel to it. But even if I look down at my hands, it's like they look human, but I can tell that it's not quite human.
It's just different.
It just there's like a different it's like luminescent, almost like a soft glow to the skin.
I see.
Yeah. And I feel like I would have the ability to change that if I wanted.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like
what could you change it to if you wanted to?
So if I look at my hands, I know I can have webbed fingers or normal fingers.
Mm-hmm.
If I move my hand, it's like if I hold the intention in my mind, then I know I can shift it from fingers to webbed. And yeah, it's like I have this knowing that I can run really fast and move very agile. And I can change certain things about this body. I can't become an animal or anything like that, but I know that I can shift. Yeah, like if I needed to climb a rock wall, I could do that very confidently. Scale a wall.
I see.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And do you feel like there's anything else that's important about the body there? There's not too much. I just feel this strong sense of like confidence in the physical vessel that I'm in, even though I'm quite young. There's like no fear that I would not be able to do something. Like I'd be able to swim, I'd be able to climb, I'd be able to jump. Like there's such a pretty confident.
Very confident. Yeah, there's a lot of conviction in this particular body. Yeah.
Awesome. Super cool. And just in the cave there, you said that when you go through the water there, it's a place where you can purge.
Yeah, I feel like what I've been on is pilgrimage isn't the right word, but like where I came from, they intentionally, it was like an initiation, like they sent me off to this particular place. And because I can feel the part of me that misses them and is thinking about them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I needed to travel very far to get to this particular place, which I know is where women or females have come before me many, many, many times.
I see.
Yeah, there's a feeling of it is that feeling of, it's the feeling of home, but it's like, okay, I truly belong. I think I miss my family, I miss where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can see them and where we live.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's like it's interesting because it seems like huts, but it's like a clear space that we live in. So it's there's a lot of dirt, but it's in more of a cleared area. So there are trees and mountains that surround it, but these huts are very beautiful. Like on the outside, they sort of blend in with the surroundings, but when you go into them, there's so much happening. There's a space where we sit, and these beautiful blankets and cushions, and there's an actual space for fire. It feels very ceremonial, is the feeling. And then you walk up, and there are the spaces that we sleep. Everything feels quite open, like there's nothing to hide. Yeah, and it's about very simple living, but very beautiful. So there's a lot of color, there's a lot of, everything is natural resources.
Mm-hmm.
It's not cement or anything like this. In fact, there's not technology. Yeah, It's not a thing here.
And is it quite a large area, or is it quite small?
I would say it's not overly large. Like it's designed for family, maybe a family of like 3 or 4 or 5 people to live in this space together.
I see.
Yeah, it's quite communal. And it feels very free flowing though. Like people will come and they'll stay in where you normally live, and then you can go and stay where other people normally live. It's very fluid. Very open. Yeah, there's not these like fences around things or anything like that. It feels very communal, very interconnected. And yeah, when I think about that home, it's like I can feel the part of me that now misses that. Whereas I think when I left to come here, I wanted to almost get away and not go back. Like I didn't know where I fit in that picture. I didn't feel like I really belonged.
And so just tell me more about the huts and that area there.
Yeah. So there's only 6 of these huts in this particular area that I can see. In the center is again like a cleared space where you would sit and have fire.
I see.
And then they're not created in a circle around this fire. They're sort of like just randomly placed in this cleared area. But there's this knowing that the center place is where we gather, where we come. Yeah.
Well, let's do this then, okay? Let's see what you have to eat there, just as a typical meal. Let's go and see what you have to eat there as a meal. And just tell me about it.
So it's there's a meat that I think is the animal on the cave wall, because that I get the feeling like this meat is it's not something that you eat every day. Like there's a significance to this particular kind of meat, and it seems to be like a lot of mainly like a lot of green food. There's something about the green food that it's like there's a cleanliness to it. It's like as I'm eating the food, I can feel that it energetically shifts. That it energetically shifts my body. It's like I'm eating it and I feel lit up. I'm eating it and I feel alive. But when you eat the meat, you eat it and you feel strong, and that's where the confidence in my body comes from, because it's like you're as strong as the animal that you're eating.
And when you're eating it there, do you eat by yourself, or is there others around? Or
everyone eats. Yeah, everybody eats together. We don't eat alone. Yeah, because when we eat, you're talking, and then there's this person looks like an elder, and there's storytelling, and there's connection, and it's always shared.
I see. And just tell me about the others around there as well.
It's all different ages. There's some children there, and then there's 2 elders. But again, they don't quite look human. It's really interesting, and all different ages. But it seems to be there's children, and then some like maybe middle-aged people, but then only 2 elders in this particular setting.
I see. Let's do this then, okay? Do you feel like there's anything else that's important around here in the village? Or about the people?
I feel like I feel like there's just a deep feeling of like connection and belonging. Yeah, like I'm not alone. I belong as a part of something. Yeah.
Well, let's do this then, okay? Let's go and see what you do with the majority of your time there.
So there's some learning that I do. There's a classroom where there's like someone teaching. And it's I don't particularly enjoy that. I don't particularly enjoy
What don't you enjoy about it?
I don't like sitting still. It's just, I'm finding it really boring. It's
What's the class about?
it's about plants. It's like, yeah, we're being taught about plants. When I like plants, but I'd rather be out in the plants than sitting there listening to someone talk about plants. Yeah.
And how's everybody else there in the classroom?
They seem like they're paying attention.
It's just you.
Yeah, I can't sit still. I just want to leave. I'm not really interested in this lecture.
Well, let's see what you do outside of the classroom with your time.
I just want to go I want to leave the village area and I want to go into the rainforest area and just explore, because I can hear what the plants, but the earth and the elements are trying to say. Like, I can hear that conversation clearer, and I want to hear what they have to say, and I want to have a conversation with them. I don't want to learn it through anyone else.
And tell me, is it just you that can do that, or is it everybody there that can do that?
I feel like where everybody learns how to do this, but I can do it clearer, and that's why I'm frustrated.
You'd rather learn straight from the plants and see what they say.
Yeah, I don't see the point in learning something that I already know how to do.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this then, okay? Let's leave that scene there, and let's move to an important day, a day that you consider to be important when something's happening.
So someone's died. I feel the sadness in my body. And I feel I look around and there's a sadness and a quietness. There are some people that are crying, and there's an area where this body is laid. It's like there's leaves and bark, and there's a bed of flowers that this body is lying on, and they're dressed in this beautiful, it's like a necklace, but it's so big and long that it covers the whole body. It's a female. I don't think I'm not related to this person, but they are a part of us. Like, everyone is, we're all a part of each other. Like, everybody's deeply connected. And so, yeah, there's a ceremony of, we're helping her return to the earth again.
Tell me the process of what happens there.
the elder is standing at the head of this person and speaking. I can't understand the language. They're speaking something over, like prayers over this body, but prayers for the earth, like it's speaking to the core of this planet. Asking for her spirit to be taken back home. And there's silence except for the crying and very gentle music in the background, like a clapping of sticks, but very gentle, very soft, very slow and rhythmic. Yeah.
And tell me, how do you mourn the dead there?
We allow ourselves to feel the sadness, but it's more of there's a lot of reverence, a lot of respect. It's sad, but it's also it's so deeply moving because we understand the cycle of life. We understand that this is a part just as much as any other chapter in our life. And it brings us closer together. This person passed away earlier. They're not very old.
I see. And do you feel like there's anything else that's important there?
No, I feel like I feel complete. There's just like an honouring of that cycle.
Yeah. I understand. Okay, well, let's do this then, okay? Let's leave that scene, but let's move to another important day in that life there. Another day that you consider to be important when something else is happening.
I feel like I'm being sent somewhere. I'm being sent to this place that I haven't been before, and I'm quite nervous about it. There's other beings there. There's like a panel of these beings that I need to go and speak with. And my mom's telling me that I'm gonna be okay, but I don't feel okay.
I don't quite believe it.
I don't quite believe it. But she's beautiful. My mom is beautiful, and I do trust my mom. I think I just don't know. I don't know how to act around these beings.
I see. And does it feel important to go and meet them?
Yeah, very important. I think that's why I feel nervous, because I don't know what I'm supposed to do or how I'm meant to act. I feel like I have to impress them because they feel quite big.
I see. And who's telling you that you have to go and meet them?
My mom is telling me this. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this then. Let's fast forward a little bit and let's see what happens there.
I don't think I'm on that planet anymore. I'm sitting in this like it's a cold chair. It's like steel almost. There are 4 beings in front of me. The first one is it has like a really big dome-shaped head. I've never seen anything like this. Yeah, it feels very stern. and it's like a big, it's almost like an insect, but its head is very dome-shaped. And it's sitting in a large chair, and it's staring at me, and I feel sternness from it. And the other being is almost like I can only say like a praying mantis, like a mantis type being.
Mm-hmm.
I feel neutrality, almost like peacefulness from this one. And then the other two are like one is the lightest blue color, almost like a elf, but with a longer face and like slanted cat eyes almost. And I feel a little bit confronted by the beauty that's coming from this being. It's a little bit unnerving. And then the other being is very similar. I feel like the other one is a male version of this. I think it's a male and a female version of this being, yeah.
See,
yeah.
That's the blue one, the elf looking one sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like very, very light blue / white, glowing all the time. I think that's just how they are.
Mm-hmm. And your mum sent you here to meet these ones.
Yeah, and I knew that they were going to ask me questions. They want to find something out.
Well, let's see what happens there.
So I'm asking, why am I here? What do you want with me? I don't know why I'm here. And the blue being is saying that that's okay. There's nothing to be afraid of. We're not going to hurt you. The stern being doesn't speak. It speaks into my head. It doesn't speak. It doesn't have a mouth to move.
Mm-hmm.
And they're asking me, and they want to know why or how I knew how to speak to the plants. And I'm explaining to them I don't know. It wasn't a conscious thing. It wasn't something that I have a recollection of learning how to do. I just always knew that was what I need. That was the way that it was meant to be. We were always just meant to that was how we were meant to be able to speak to them. And the blue being is saying that you realize that's unusual. And I say, well, all I know is that I don't like to sit still and learn about it. I already know how to do it. I don't see the point. I can feel myself. I feel very uncomfortable. Like I want to get out of there. And now this mantis being is it's saying that they're going to need to take me with them, and I'm not going. I don't want to go. I really don't want to go.
Let's see what happens.
So we are where it's not in that room anymore. I feel like I'm not too sure where I am. but there's like an uncertainty in my body. Like I feel like it's dark where I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I can feel there's like a cold surface beneath my body. I'm on my hands and my knees.
And what's happening there?
I think I'm moving. I think I may be in like a ship or something, because I can feel that I'm moving. I'm moving through, because I can hear engines, I can hear noise around me, but I can't see anything really.
Mm-hmm.
And now, okay, I can hear footsteps. And someone's opening the door and telling me that I need to come with them. We're walking down this corridor.
Mm-hmm.
Down into the corridor. There's a room that I'm being led into. As I walk through, the female of the blue beings is standing there. And she's standing near a chair. She's asking me to go and sit in that chair. I trust her. I trust her more than I trust the other ones, but they're not in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm gonna sit in the chair. This room there's really not much in here at all except her in the chair. It's quite bright. And she's explaining to me that they need to extract something. There's something that they need to, they're gonna put this thing on my temple of my head.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a cold device. And yeah, she's just telling me that if I close my eyes and I try and relax, it won't hurt. It is just going to feel a little bit strange as it takes what it needs to take.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just feels like it makes noise in my mind. That's all. There is no pain, but I feel very comforted by the presence of this being.
Yeah. Let's see what happens next there.
She's taken this, whatever that extraction was feels complete, and she's removed that little cold silver disc from my temple.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just explaining, like, we'll take you back home now, but we're gonna come and visit you again, and we're just gonna watch. Just know that we'll be watching. There's nothing to be afraid of, but we'll be watching.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about that?
I feel a little bit unnerved by that. I'm not sure why they want to know what they want to know. They won't really answer that question for me. I'm confused by this situation. I'm not sure what they wanted to get out of it.
Well, let's see what happens next there then.
I feel like I'm sort of back again, like on my home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like I'm back on my home. I want to give my mum a hug, but I'm also really mad at her.
Why are you mad at her?
Yeah, because I said to her, like, why do you think it's okay that you can send me to these people, like these beings, and not tell me why? Like, nobody's telling me why, and I feel confused and like angry at this situation. She just says, I know, but I can't tell you, and I understand. Just trust that you're going to be safe. And I feel like I just want to run away. I don't feel...
I see. Well, let's do this then. Let's see what happens after that.
So I'm gonna go into the forest. I don't want to be around them right now, and I don't want to have to tell people if they ask me. So I'm gonna go into the trees now, and I feel like I'm just going in any direction. I'm not really following the path. It's very dense greenery, very dense. And yeah, just like moving the brush aside, walking even deeper into this forest. I think I'm trying to find that waterfall again, because I can feel like I want to go back to the waterfall, back to the water. Yeah, I'm just like walking through this forest again. Even as I walk, I feel so much better when I'm in this forest. I'm not... Yeah.
Well, let's do this thing, okay? Let's leave that scene. Let's move to another important day in our life when something else is happening. So let's move to another important day when something else is happening in that life.
I feel like I'm older now. Yeah, I'm older because I have children.
Oh. Tell me a little bit about your children.
There's a boy and a girl, and they look a little bit different to me. Like, their facial features are, like, their eyes are bigger, and they seem... Yeah, their eyes are bigger, and at the moment they have webbed fingers. They're playing with their webbed fingers at the moment.
And whereabouts are they playing with?
So we're out in the open area, but we're a little bit more towards the forest. And I'm sitting there watching them, and they're playing in the dirt, very young, maybe one, maybe... Yeah, I would say like 1.5. They're twins, and they're the same, but one's a boy and one's a girl. Yeah, and they're playing in this dirt, and they just keep looking up at me and saying like, "Mama, look," and then they're down in the dirt again, and yeah, wanting my attention.
Your attention.
Yeah, wanting my attention. And I feel so much love, like I've never felt love like this before. So much love in my heart watching them play. Yeah.
And just as you look around there, do you feel like there's anything else that's important there?
Nothing too much. It feels like... Yeah, it feels like... the small village is still the same, but it's aged with us. Like there is that feeling of
I see.
time has passed. Like yeah,
Mhm.
but things have remained relatively the same. Like that feeling of like time goes on.
I see. And you still live there in that same village there?
Yeah, interestingly I do, but my mum is not there. Yeah, it's me and these children, and there are other people there, but I'm not feeling especially drawn to any one of them.
That's okay. You're doing beautiful. Well, let's do this then, okay? Let's move forward in time to the very last day of that life that we're watching.
I feel an incredibly deep sense of peace. There's already this part of me that knows that I'm lying down and it's going to feel like I just fall asleep. And then the feeling that I have is that I'm so happy to be going back to the trees, like back to this completion.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling, just so... I feel so deeply connected to this web of life. My children are there, but they're older now. Like, the way that this life has been lived is so deeply a part of something. Part of a community.
Mm-hmm.
Part of a tribe.
And how does the body feel there? That it feels pretty at peace.
Yeah, so ready to like leave this chapter, leave this lifetime behind.
Okay. And what do you feel like there was to learn from that life?
It feels like a very deep, there's so much peace around the knowing that your life will take on many different like twists and turns and chapters and themes, but the true beauty is found when we can find the people that we feel like we belong, that there's a tending and a nurturing when we find these people in our life, when we feel like we belong. And it's okay if you have moments where you need to travel away or you need to get away, but to come back to that place where you know that you belong. This is what brings life like deep richness.
And what do you feel like the purpose to that life was?
Just such a simplicity, like how much joy can be received in the very simple way of life.
But can I ask, why did you pick that particular lifetime for her to see?
She doesn't need to overcomplicate. Sometimes so wrapped up in this idea of it needs to be big, it needs to be significant, it needs to be like deeply meaningful. A reminder of the simplicity, a reminder of the importance of it doesn't matter how many people you feel deeply connected to, treasuring and giving to the ones that gift you that feeling of home.
So how does that relate to what's going on in your life now?
There's a tendency to overthink, to overcomplicate. A big theme of overcomplication. Wants to make things more dramatic and bigger than what they need to be. And there's part of the reason she doesn't want to leave Australia is because she's concerned that she's not going to find people to connect with overseas, but actually there will be more people overseas than here in Australia. She just has to let go of this idea.
I see. can I ask, is there any people in that other life that are having an experience with her in this lifetime at all?
Yes, her 2 children.
2 children? Who are they in this lifetime?
Her mother and her sister.
Can I ask, why are they chosen to play this role, play this game down here, this time?
They want to experience different expressions of love. They understand they've had a simplicity, a purity, an ease of love where there was no blockages, no challenges, almost too simple in a way. This time, through the challenges, there's so much to be learnt for all parties involved, if they're open to learning it. The depth that these challenges around the love provides can be very meaningful and very powerful in all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. And just going back over that whole lifetime, is there anything else that you feel is important or significant, or things that you need to add to?
It would be beneficial for her to acknowledge the connection that she has with plants. Perhaps that might even be studied, or just a further development of the connection with plants. There's something, she has the ability to connect with that realm and that world easier than even human or animal.
Does she? Now, tell me more about those ETs that extracted all that information. What was the go with them?
They were curious. They are observing the way that different species evolve, different characteristics that crop up in different generations. She was one of the first of that generation that didn't need to learn. It became embodied. It was handed down through her mum.
I see. Okay. Beautiful. Because she wasn't too happy in that experience, giving up that information or going through what she needed to go through.
She still fears the unknown.
Let's see. And she was on a completion, like on a journey of completion at the start there. What did that mean by journey of completion?
Journey of completion in that particular lifetime was in that species, you say goodbye to the child. There's a very significant moment where you move from child to woman, and this was a completion of that. They do that through connecting to their ancestors and the women that have come before them.
And is there anything else that you feel is important about that life that you want to tell?
I feel that is complete.
Okay, thank you so much for clarifying everything. Now, is it okay with you, and only if it's okay with you, if you can just maybe go through the body there and see if you can find anything that you feel is out of balance or out of harmony. And if you do find anything, if we can just stop and have a little chat about it, is that okay with you?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm always curious, and whereabouts are you starting from?
Her neck.
Her neck. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of tension in her neck. She holds so much fear in this area. It's the turning left, turning right. Where do I need to go? What do I need to look out for? Always worried, always worried. She just needs to rest.
Okay. So has that been an issue for a long time, or just recently, or what?
It has been an issue all her life, but it's showing up now because it's time to let this go. It's not necessary to keep carrying this.
Is there anything that she needs to learn from it?
It would benefit her to connect more with her breathing. The breathing is a very strong indicator when she's stressed out or out of balance. Becomes like a panting, like a dog, as opposed to deep, deep breathing, which can nourish the entire body and release the tension in the neck.
So do you actually want her to experience what she's teaching?
Yes, please.
Beautiful. Okay. Is there anything else that she needs to know about what's going on in her neck area there?
No, it feels complete. It feels very ready to be let go. I think it's just an awareness for her.
Okay, beautiful. So what's the solution here for letting it go? Do you want her to do it, or are you able to do it for her, or what?
I'd like to help her.
Okay, beautiful. And is releasing that for her? Is she actually feeling anything?
Yes.
What's she feeling?
There's a complete lightness in her whole body, especially down into her legs as well. She feels like she's using quotation marks, high. It's her only reference point.
Reference point high. That's good. Beautiful. Thank you so much for identifying that and explaining it to her.
She's actually having a lot of fun.
That's what this is about. Just while you're working on that, okay, is there anything else that you feels out of balance or out of harmony there?
This feels like the main point. Everything else actually feels quite balanced. Mm-hmm. I think she just thinks she's not balanced. So much of it is just the stories she tells herself. Always storytelling. Always telling stories.
What's it like inside her head then?
Far too busy. Like a circus. Entertaining but busy.
Okay. Is there anything that doesn't need to be in there anymore?
The anxieties. There's a lot of fear of the unknown, but she forgets sometimes that she's faced a lot, sometimes more than what she gives herself credit for. Most people in this lifetime wouldn't experience some of the things that she has. So just, yeah, she gets to be softer with herself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So what's causing the anxiety?
It's the fear of what comes next. What comes next? What comes next?
Is that just going on in her head?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's also a fear of. Yes, it's a fear of loss of control for her, but it's more so she's afraid of pain and suffering, which is strange because she's moved through a lot of that in her life and always come out the other side. So, yeah, she confuses herself with these loops, these mental loops.
Okay. So what do you want to do with those loops then?
We absolutely get to let that go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they are just illusions. None of it is true.
Mm-hmm. What's the best way to let it go? What are you doing to let it go for her?
I'm rocking her mind from side to side,
mm-hmm.
and I'm going to encourage her to journal, write. There's deep medicine for her in her writing.
What's she feeling in her head area?
Peace for once.
What's that like for her?
She's going, oh. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I remember that. It's nice.
Yes. She's very quick to be in joy. It's not a big stretch for her to move between the anxiety and the joy. She just needs the nudging. It's it'll pass. It won't always be like this for her. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. If she feels it coming back, what's the best thing for her to do?
The best thing for her to do is to actually laugh and find things that help her laugh. Humor and joy is because it's so natural for her, it shifts her very quickly out of that state of anxiety if she can find the joy and the humor and the laughter. Things that elicit that and bring that on.
What's something quick and easy that she can laugh at?
It's good. She finds visual very powerful. So if she can start or have some things on her phone or write down funny things that happen to her or have happened to her. I'll make memories as available as I can to her, but definitely visual for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Beautiful. Super cool. And that'll snap her out of it.
Very quickly, she'll be surprised. She'll go, why was I so worried?
And then she can laugh at the worry.
Yeah. This is a good quality that she has.
That's awesome. Super cool. Now, if her body's, it sounds like it's all in balance and harmony now. Can you tell me what on earth happened 6 months ago? That rocked her.
Yes. Yeah. There were two things that were simultaneously occurring. One, she had very, very deep-seated fear in her body that she couldn't access, so she needed to be taken down. And I know it might have felt harsh for her, but she had created a life where it was the only way that she was going to stop. And two, she needed to receive. Terrible at receiving. Terrible at receiving. She's a funny creature. She thinks that she's all alone, but she does that because she doesn't receive. There are many, many people in her life that want to give to her and want to care for her and love her. But yeah, sometimes she blocks this in the receiving. So the sickness took her down. She had to receive.
She had no choice, didn't she?
Yes, and she had to feel the fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there anything that she needs to be concerned about?
Not at all. Nothing.
Okay.
Any sickness or illness is simply things that are surfacing because she's not willing to feel them.
I see. So is that all about just her just receiving, just stopping and just receiving some support and
slowing down so that she can process her feelings accurately, fear, anxiety, these transient things, so she can get to the root of them, and also that she can lean into the support of others. People want to love her.
Yeah. So can I ask, what's causing, well, she's got down here, what's causing the disconnected sensation for her lately?
She asks questions she already knows the answer to. The disconnection for her is the fear and anxiety that runs in her body that she doesn't want to sit with. So she riles herself up, she feels anxious and fearful, and then of course we have the splitting and the disconnection that humans feel, like disembodied, I think they call it. That feeling of not being fully present, which is going to happen when you're not willing to feel the fear in your body. But she doesn't realize that it's not that scary.
Can you tell me, as you're looking or watching or feeling, what's your perspective on it?
I don't think it's as deep and big as she thinks it is. I feel like...
Surely it must be pretty entertaining.
It's very entertaining. She twists herself in these knots for no reason. And then, we'll sit there and be like, why is this happening? And, and wanting help. But then, it's very entertaining. I don't know what to do with her half the time.
Classic. So, can you tell me, like, right now, what's the main, she wants to know what's the main theme of learning for her in this current chapter that she's going through in her life now?
Exactly this. That she can push through, that pushing is the incorrect word. That she can be present with the sensations in her body and know that it's safe. This is very old childhood patterning, ready to be cleared, ready to be put to rest, and it's surfacing right now because she thinks it's the plane ride and it's the great unknown. No, life has presented her with an opportunity to clear the remainder of this. There's not as much as she thinks there is there. She's actually going to get on that plane and be like, wow, this is amazing. I love flying. But she's going to twist herself at 100 knots before then. So she will get there. It's carving out space and time to just be. Just be. Nothing else.
So, now, you probably laugh at this next question. She goes, how do I best support herself and continue to let go of all this control and just trust?
Look at this girl. Look what she writes. Look at the questions that she asks. She's so entertaining. Oh goodness. By again simply doing what it is. We're on the right path. We're on the right path.
The next one. What are the main ways that she self-sabotages? And how does she best overcome this? It's the same question.
I feel like I'm looping.
Classic.
Even the way that she writes the questions, it's the looped patterning. She can't quite see it yet. She'll be able to see it after this.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fun, yeah. She can have a laugh at herself.
Yeah, bless her.
Maybe these can be one of those funny things when she feels anxiety. She can actually look over some of these questions and laugh at that.
I think this will serve her well.
Alright. So tell me more about moving to the UK. She wants to know, will it bring a career change or what?
She already knows that it will because she's not truly fulfilled with the job that she's doing. It won't be immediate. It will take a little bit of time. The job that she's doing now is serving its purpose. It's not quite complete yet, but it will be a very definitive moment when it is. And then it's almost like she feels like she won't have an option. She won't be able to keep doing that job. So she'll know, but it will. It will shift the career for her.
Okay, cool. Now, she's not being a control freak or anything, but she wants to know what will be her focus for the journey to the UK?
Look at the questions that she asks
Yeah,
me.
it's funny.
The focus is to let go and have fun. Don't worry about it. She wants to. Yeah, she always wants to know, like, what's the theme? What's the thing? What's the thing? Just have fun. Just have. You're 33. Have fun. Just enjoy it. Don't worry about it.
Last question for the UK, I think. Is there anything in particular that she needs to bring with her to the UK?
I feel like this is a looped question because anything she takes will be perfect and she can get whatever she needs there. I feel like that's a looped question.
Okay. Alright. Is there anything else that you want to add about going to the UK or getting on that plane?
Just to enjoy herself, just to exhale and breathe and enjoy. She has been dreaming of this moment for years, and now that it's here, she wants to worry about it. It's nothing to worry about. You are more protected, more loved, more safe than you can ever realize. Yeah, she just needs to hear that again and again for now.
Can I ask, so what's her overall purpose for being here, or a mission for being here, just overall?
I love these questions. Always wanting to know.
She's so
why.
curious.
So curious. To just experience this. I don't know what you're trying to achieve and get to the end goal of. This life is simply that. It's here to be experienced, and to fully receive it, to fully be immersed in it. The good and the bad. This is what it's about. Just enjoy it.
It's about the experience.
Yeah, just experience it. So many humans think that they have to achieve this particular thing and tick the boxes. And there's no boxes. There's no ticks. Just enjoy it.
Just enjoy the journey. Enjoy the ride.
Yes.
Who knows where the road's going?
Yeah, it will self-reveal. She'll work it out as she goes. There'll be different things for different chapters, but nothing overarching that I want to tell her.
How does she feel about you saying that?
She's laughing with me, but in a little bit of an embarrassed way. There's a lot of heat in her body, so I know she's embarrassed.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's only you. Now, she wants to know, what are her gifts in this lifetime?
I feel like I want to explain to her a little bit of what I've been saying. It will self-reveal, but also her physical touch and her writing. These are two things that she's known about for a while now, but hasn't felt confident to start to really ground in and solidify, and then share that from a place of knowing that these are her gifts. So I'm just going to offer her that for now.
Okay. Now she wants to know, why does she find it challenging to open her heart to people and to life?
Well, if you spend your life trying to control it, it's going to be challenging to open your heart to people, isn't it? If you can let go and not have to control anything or anyone, then you'll find it easier. It's all safety. It's this little child that is very beautiful but very scared and just needs reassurance right now.
What do you want to say to the little child then?
That we have absolutely and relentlessly got you in this lifetime, and the human experience that you had was necessary to forge you into the powerful woman that you are and that you are becoming. All of the lessons that you had to learn, the resiliency, the adaptability, all of it is necessary in your evolution. And I know that was a lot. You took on a big contract, and we understand that. But there's nothing for you to fear anymore. We've got you.
And does that little child believe what you're saying?
Yeah, there's an easing of the tension. She understands. But she does need to be reminded. He forgets to remind her sometimes, and she gets neglected a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will help her immensely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. Super cool. Now she's got a few pretty cool questions down here.
We'll see how we go.
She wants to know, why are humans being observed in this process by other beings?
Why? Well,
It changed from, firstly she wanted to know if they are, and now she wants to know why are they.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So she kind of answered her own questions, but now it's a different question.
Yeah, she knows. She knows. There's this part of her that doubts, but she actually knows a lot more than she lets herself believe. We're working on this so that when she starts to feel things, this is her intuition, and she feels that knowing, which is different to reading something, the knowing, she's going to learn to be trusting that a lot more. And yeah, this question, the information that I have access to is that the question in return is like, why wouldn't you be? Humans are such curious creatures, and the evolutionary phase that you're on is actually one of the only ones in many of the galaxies. Earth is at this very, very pivotal moment in time. It's not that many people think it will end in this self-destructive apocalypse. It's not that at all. It's whether you loop back into an evolutionary process that is very same, looping, or you break through. And if you break through, you have the opportunity to eventually meet with many other star beings, many other families, many other intergalactic beings.
What does she need to break through then? What does she need to do?
To listen to her intuition more, or to break through the looping pattern?
To break through the looping pattern.
Yeah, what we've been discussing, the thing that prevents humans from doing this is fear, collective fear. And collective fear sits over the earth like a blanket. You think about 8 billion or 8.5 billion people processing fear, pouring fear into the collective reality. It makes sense that there's a density to earth.
Mm.
But what they are beginning to understand is that as one of them breaks through, another one does, another one does. This is like, if you look at it from the stars down onto earth, it's like seeing lights popping off. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful sight. That's why they're being observed. They're fascinating and beautiful and complex and simple.
Awesome. Because her next question after that is there a concern? And it's interesting that she said that we won't evolve out of the violence and the power and the greed.
She worries about.
Who's this we that she's talking about?
There's still a part of her that attaches to her father, and she saw these characteristics in her father, and she worries about them. She worries about. She's been through a large process with her own fear and her own power, because she associates that with evil through her father, which is not true. That is an illusion. It's a safety mechanism that her psyche created. It's not real. In terms of humanity at a larger scale, it will self-reveal. There's no involvement, there's no direct, no one's coming to save the planet. Every human has the unique opportunity to break through this patterning. It's not as hard as they think it is. They keep thinking it's very hard. They've been programmed to believe that it's hard. It's actually not that hard. It requires discipline and commitment, and it does require some work. But on the other side of that, it's incomparable. You can't compare it. Those challenging times will feel like nothing. They dissolve. It's nothing.
It's worth going through the process, sort of thing.
More than I can explain. I don't have an ability to articulate it.
Is there any residue or any energy that she's still got attached to her dad?
Yes, and a part of it will be reconciled in a relationship for her.
What relationship?
There's someone who'll come into her life, and they will play a pivotal role in the reconciliation of that energy.
Let's see. Now, let me know. She'll want me to ask when, where, how, who, how old, what does he look like?
I don't see the value in answering those questions for her. I love her, and I care deeply about her, and I want to see her trust. I want to see her trust, because that's the greatest key for her. There is someone, of course, but they'll come when they're ready. It's not for her to know all the details. She'll fixate on it, and she'll start looping. No.
Yeah, totally. Just be patient, little one. Just be patient.
Yeah, with great power, you have to earn this responsibility, and I love her, but she's not quite there yet. Maybe next session, but not this time.
You know what she's going to do? She'll be like, as soon as she listens to that, she'll be like, okay, on my next session tomorrow.
Yeah, she'll re-listen to this and book it with you again. Probably she'll try to do it before she leaves, but then she'll laugh and she'll realise that the great unknown.
It's funny. It's super cool. Now, she wants to know about the new souls coming in, the children being born now. Tell me about them, because she wants to know if they're born with amnesia, or if they're going to remember at a faster rate, or...
Oh, this is a good question. See, I like her questions. So she's very curious.
She's got some good questions.
Yeah, she's good. She's making me work. So I like that. So yes, the young ones coming through now, this next wave, yes, they still have amnesia. That's at this stage, that is still necessary. However, the line between, for example, when she was born into the world, her amnesia would have been at a denser capacity than the young ones that are coming through now. The young ones that are coming through now still have amnesia, but their ability to defracture that is much greater because of the work that people and many others are doing. It's fracturing that density and that amnesia. So it's easier every generation that comes through for them to break through and remember.
Mm-hmm. That's that veil thinning, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And there's a collective fear at the moment that people shouldn't be having children because the world is going to end, and climate change and all of these human ideas that negate the greater evolution of the Earth Mother. But what they forget sometimes is that it's the children that will actually help reverse many of those denser energies. They are pivotal to that.
Mm-hmm. Now, that leads me on to another question. Okay. If humans can collapse their concept of time, does this lead us to multidimensional awareness as a normal state of functioning?
What a question.
Totally.
Yes, and it's also not very relevant for now. What I'm hearing in the question is a very futuristic timeline, which I can understand the question, and it's a good question, but you don't need to know that right now. enjoy the...
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. That's all she needs to know. Yeah. She's not into quantum physics. It's fine.
Which leads me on to the next one. What role does gravity play in the evolution of interstellar travel?
All of these questions. She watched a movie not long ago.
She's been studying something.
Yeah. She watched a movie not long ago. It was called Interstellar, and then she started to do all this research. She's a funny little thing. So, yeah, I mean, gravity... But again, everything about this reality is more intentional than humans can understand. Humans have yet to tap into the power of intention. So they're just starting to now understand what intention is. They've called it prayer in the past, but intention is highly focused and precise energy pointed at a particular thing or a moment or an aspect within a linear timeline. And the power of the human energy, the power of the human being focused on a point in time or a particular thing is immensely powerful. They're just starting to realize that now. So in terms of gravity, to answer her question without going into too much detail, yes. Again, future timeline, eventually humans will crack the code, so to speak, on gravity, but not right now. And the biggest reason is with gravity comes an immensity of responsibility that humans aren't yet ready for. Not yet.
Okay, good. Now, you're speaking of future things a couple of times there. Now, when I was talking to her before, she said that she saw glimpses of her future self. What does her future self want her to know?
To stop living in the future.
Stop bugging me.
Go back to the present moment. Go back to the present moment. Her future self is like, I'll be here. Oh, I'm here, but you're there. So be there, not here. Go back. Because even in her questions, you know, this beautiful curiosity that she has, and she was born with this curiosity. When it's misdirected, it projects itself into the future. She's not a past dweller. She's very good at reconciling her past. But the future, star travel, all of this beautiful, amazing. But this is what actually causes her anxiety, because she's so far in the future.
I see.
And you know, her future self, yeah, for sure, it's there, but it wants you to go back to the present moment, not bug it in the future. Go back and learn what you need to learn now.
It's like my future self.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a grumpy man.
Don't-
Tells me to get over myself. And that's it. There's no other message.
If you want to know boundaries, visit your future self.
Now, she's got a few more questions here. Okay, alright. So, she wants to know, when we use her imagination, what is actually occurring there?
This is a good question.
I thought that was a cracker.
Yeah. So the imagination, it can vary. It's actually quite a unique field that you will tap into. So for some humans, in the stage of evolution that they're at, their imagination is based on any visual or previous visual or current visual that they can sort of recall and play with and manipulate in a way. It's very held within that denser reality. It's still very beautiful, but this can happen in children that have experienced a lot of trauma, where they lose their connection to a more divine source of imagination. It's very sad to see. It's very sad for many beings to witness this. It's very unnatural. It's not the way it should be. And for other highly empathic and attuned individuals, not just children, adults as well. When we speak about imagination, what you're doing is you're tapping into the realm of infinite and limitless possibility. And so you can have monsters and creatures and what we call fantasy and what we call like science fiction on Earth is the realm of infinite possibility. And so when you're imagining, you're tapping into something that is already is being and will be. It's that vast. That's why imagination is endless. And humans know this. They articulate this in different ways. They know that there's no bounds to the imagination. And it's why it's so endearing in children, because when we look at a child, we see the limitless possibility of their life ahead of them. And we see them tap into that limitless possibility in their imagination. And as we become older, we think, oh no, this is the timeline that they have to be on. And so imagination is shunned in adulthood.
So it draws them back down.
Yes, into more of the imagination that I was speaking about before with the children that had received trauma.
Okay. Beautiful. Great answer, thank you.
You're welcome.
So the next one is, when she dreams, where does she go?
I think she asks this question because she's had some bad dreams lately. Yeah. She's they rattled her. For her, the thing that she's concerned about in asking this question is that she's worried about things like entities and these concepts and ideas. There's nothing to worry about. The places that she travels and goes, sometimes it's always to extract different perspectives, different ways of seeing things. So for her, the dream will start off as some part of her psyche, of her mind that's not reconciled yet. And from that place, if it's fitting, she will be, again, we speak about the realm of infinite possibility. She will be projected, almost like a projector screen, into scenarios within the realm of possibility that play out the exact situation that she needs to extract the information that she needs to come back to reconcile it in her waking state. The trick for her is that when she wakes up, she must move her body.
I see.
She needs to move, not get on the phone or worry about the day. I don't want to see lists. So many lists, you don't understand. Always writing lists. Don't worry about that. Get in the body, move the body, and that will help everything up here move into here and reconcile.
It'll help move the energy?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. Thanks for clearing that up.
No worries.
Now she's only got a few more questions here.
Always asking.
Totally. I think she could have come up with 1 million questions.
Oh, I believe that. Wait till next session. She'll have more, I'm sure.
Totally. Now, are there any messages or guidance for humans from any other beings that want to be shared at this time?
The most common, when they ask for messages, or humans ask for messages, they tend to want a message like, they think it's going to be, some profound, and look, sometimes it is. Overarching and the most common is the fact that it's love. It's literally love. It is that simple, but they want to complicate it. For humans, for the whole of humanity, the biggest thing they need to hear and learn and know and get to know and return to is just love. That's it. They want to overcomplicate it.
Totally.
But yeah, find your unique journey with it, and as often and as gently as they can, return to love. Just keep coming back to that.
Beautiful. Now she wants to know, who are her guides?
Her guides. I think she thinks that there is like a particular. She's recalling with this question the female being that was around her when she was a child.
Yeah, that was touching her hand. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So that relationship reconciled, and that energy was not needed anymore. At the moment, her greatest guides are actually different animals, spirits of animals though. She has work to do in the spirit realm of animals, very earthen bound. I think sometimes she wants to connect to like astral, galactic, cosmic. She has guides everywhere, but the main ones for her to focus on at the moment is actually animal.
Okay. Tell me about them.
So the two main ones for her at the moment are wolf and horse.
Okay.
And both of those in different manifestations will provide her with energy of courage, of pack, of group, of herd, of loyalty, but also connection. We look at a wolf, and a wolf howls at the moon because it understands its connection with the divine. But its feet are very firmly planted on the earth. It doesn't need to be on the moon to howl and honor it.
And does the wolf and the horse have names?
Just the energy and essence of wolf and horse.
She can just call them wolf and the horse.
Wolf and horse, yeah. It's connecting to. If she looks at visuals, maybe she can hear. Maybe she can find a clip or something of a wolf howling. Horses running is good for her. It elicits something within her that reminds her of freedom. It reminds her of a particular feeling. Both of those are very powerful for her for now.
What's the best way for her to connect with them?
So to start with, she's very visual. So visually having these things around her is going to be beneficial.
Yeah.
But also as simply as closing down her eyes, again, taking space, which she's not good at doing, but taking space to sit down and just bring and call in the energy of the wolf and horse. Ask them, what are they there to show her? What are they there to guide her to? What characteristics can she call upon that will help her in this journey?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. That sounds pretty simple.
Yeah, she likes to complicate it though. It's always simple.
She can come up with this complicated formula if she wants to.
Yeah, she was probably wanting to hear 5 different intergalactic beings' names, and I'm like, wolf and a horse. She may be disappointed, but that's how it is.
Beautiful. Now, is there any other previous lives that she needs to know about that are connected to this life?
There are a couple that are informing. I wouldn't say that they're interfering. They're informing her though.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about them.
Yeah, there's one in particular. She has a sound sensitivity. It's a very unique sound sensitivity. She doesn't handle the sound of crunching very well. This is actually because she had a previous life where she will find the irony in this. She was eaten by wolves, and she was aware of the wolves eating her to the point where she could hear them cracking her bones. She doesn't realize that the cracking sound is reminding her of dying because the wolves were eating her.
Okay.
But this is how we come full circle, because now she's being led by wolves.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you want her to heal that part of her that feels that when she hears the cracking? What's the solution here?
Yeah, I feel like when she listens to this, the simple awareness that that's what's causing it, because for her she gets the thing that loops her is the not knowing. So because she will know this, it will bring peace to that.
Why did the wolves eat her?
This was a very, very long time ago. It's part of the circle of life. This is many, many, many thousands of years ago. The wolves ate her because she was food.
The wolves ate it because they were hungry.
Yeah, we like simple answers. This is the way that it is. We don't want to hear it, but it's true. Wolves eat us.
They have families to feed of their own.
Yeah. She was great food for them, and life continues on.
Okay. And is there another life, or any more lives that are affecting her in this life?
Nothing feels like it wants to come forward. No.
Cool. Just that one.
Yeah, just that one.
You were just eaten by wolves.
Just eaten by wolves, yeah. And now you get to have a wolf guide.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's cool, calm. Now, last question she's got down here is, what's the most effective way for her to keep in contact with you?
Listen, by creating space. The best thing for her to do is to create more space. Always so busy. busy, because, you know, it's an avoidance of being still and listening and actually reconciling some of these fears and these anxieties that she has. So I feel moving forward, when she listens to this, she knows this, she already knows this, but hearing it in this particular context and this particular way will help cement it in a different way for her. And unfortunately, if she doesn't listen this time, as we understand, consequences to actions. So I feel like she'll listen.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll find out. Time will tell.
Exactly. The future self will not tell her. She has to learn that herself.
Now, why did you want her to have this session?
Because she doesn't listen. This is one of the only ways for now that she listens. Yeah, just so that she can listen and hear it in a way that is undeniable. This will soothe the part of her brain that and her mind that wants to have some proof. This will be proof enough for her. She can rest and know that, okay, all of those things that I believe in, that I pretend that I don't, are actually real and true.
Super cool. And do you want her to listen to the recording again?
Please, I would like her to listen to it 3 times.
3 times? Okay.
And not take notes. I don't want to see notes. This is not the time to take notes, it's the time to listen.
Beautiful.
Always studying.
Super cool. And how's she going to feel after this?
She will be surprised at how amazing she feels. She's going to sleep very well tonight. And there's going to be a natural desire to create more space in her life because she knows how this feels.
Awesome. Super cool. And is there anything else that you feel is important that you want to tell her?
Just to continue the path of trust. She's already on it. She might not feel like it at times, but just to continue. She can't. I don't see a timeline playing out where she doesn't keep heading in this direction. I see no evidence of that timeline. She's already on it. She's well and truly there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you. This has been fun. Thank you for listening.
Pleasure. This is so much fun for us.
Yeah, I can imagine. I was very curious about becoming a practitioner, but I'm going to let her sit with that.
Should be awesome.
Yeah. We shall see.
Totally. Do you have one last parting message that you want to give to her?
I feel complete. I feel that she knows that she's loved. She knows that she's protected. She knows that she's safe, and she knows she's on the right path. And really, that's all she needs to know. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed it, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, me too. It won't be the last time we meet.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Likewise.